So I've been through my own little trial and tribulation. About 3 weeks ago, I came down with what I thought was just a postnasal drip or some kind of a allergy thing. It turned out to be a really nasty case of respiratory virus. I'm still getting over it, but I'm much, much better than I was. And it's a kind of thing where it's not like you have a cold with a stuffy nose and that kind of thing. You just have these coughing spasms. And I think the most difficult part for me was you can't sleep, because as soon as you start to fall asleep, the coughing starts up again, and you're coughing so hard that you have to leap out of bed and run to the bathroom. But then you're all, and I'm sure all of us at one point or another have had some kind of illness where we're up at 2 or 3 in the morning and you can't sleep, and we all have our little, I have my evil joys. My dad always used to say, you can't preach about sin unless you've experienced some. So my 2 evil joys that I don't recommend doing in all occasions, but there are times when they really help. One is Dr. Jack. Denny's. I know, some people, NyQuil, forget the NyQuil. I'm doing Dr. Jack. And the other was TikTok. And it's an interesting phenomenon. TikTok and Instagram and all these kinds of things. I mean, you can spend easily, and as long as you're up in the middle of the night and you are too exhausted to be doing anything productive, just watching Instagram and TikTok and those kinds of things can be, it's like brain candy, really, which is why it's so addictive. But there are times when it's helpful. It's the right thing to do. And so during the first week, I started seeing, and there's always these, I don't know, memes or things that start going through it. It's like a trend that goes through social media. I can remember one year there's the whole thing about the ice water baths people were dumping, There's always different little things. This was called, I would call it, it's the red carpet. And it was the most interesting thing because this was taking place all over the world right now. I saw it done in Tokyo, Times Square, New York, Florida, probably Venice Beach in California, Chicago, and someplace either it was probably Florence or Rome, but all over the world. And what happens is a gentleman, and usually he's sort of wildly dressed, he's walking up to people. And he's usually doing this in a crowded place. He's carrying a red carpet under his arm. And he walks up to people and he rolls out this red carpet. And people, children of course just jump up and down and play and run up and down on it. There's couples who walk together on it. There's some young women who are totally like they're in a Dior fashion show. Some of the most amazing breakdancing, and people just strutting their stuff down this red carpet. And everybody who does it is smiling. And in the middle of the night, no matter how miserable I felt, just seeing those smiles and seeing all this fun and ridiculousness was one of the greatest gifts. I just loved it. And that is what triggered my thoughts about red carpets and life and God and spirituality that I wanted to share with you today. Just a couple of things. The first is that there are many people who just jumped in and played. But there were also so many people who took one look at that red carpet and off in the other direction. Or they waved it, not for me. And what do you think they were thinking? No, that's too scary. They're talking about fear. What will people say? I will look too silly. I can't do that. I don't know any kind of dances or things. It's not nice to be a show-off. I'm not good enough to do it. I need more time to practice, and then maybe I could do it. And it's all about the way we look at life. And I think the thing that holds us back is that we look at life, instead of as an invitation, the people who ran away were people who were looking at life as a performance, where we're judging ourselves and our ego is right front and center. And so everything we have to do is judge by, well, what will people say? What will people think? And I think that the people who are really tied up in either fear or judgment, but mainly ego, were the people who just absolutely could not do it. So all of us, we all have our red carpet moments where we really step up, and we all have our red carpet moments, I think, where we get overcome by the ego that says, ooh, it's too scary. Or maybe if I think a little bit longer, I can think of I'm going to use myself as an example. I've started a new business. I'm a timed habits coach, and now I've graduated to having a website that's called Thrive After 65, and I had the joy of going to a Lemire Gardens facility and talking to people my age about life at this point and how to bring more joy into life and that kind of thing. What I'm really trying to say here, though, is it's about living life and seeing life as an invitation to be fully alive. Because especially if we are people who are practicing metaphysical spirituality, the most fundamental part of metaphysical spirituality is the fact that we look on the universe as divine creation. We look on God as the creator. We look on ourselves as expressions of that creativity. And the thing that stops us is when ego gets in the way and starts looking at grading ourselves by the performance instead of embracing the invitation that life offers us. That it offers us every day, no matter what else is going on. We are offered the gift of life. I think my first thought that I want to really share with you, and this is from Matthew Fox, it says, we are makers and fabricators. We are free. We are active. We are interesting. We are interested and curious. We are part of a vast creative universe. We are energetic and alive. We are creators and co-creators with God. So the first invitation is to think of anything that you're hesitating about right now and thinking you have to practice it more or do it more or learn more or wait until the moment is right. And I can remember, especially Reverend Phyllis saying this when she would do her talks. If you have an idea, a creative idea about something, and it doesn't hurt anybody else, go ahead and jump in and just start doing it. Yes, absolutely. Start doing it. Start doing it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Life is not a performance. You are here to be, and you are here as an expression of God. So it's so important for us to stop sitting on the sidelines and jump in and accept that invitation. The second thing is that I really see that joy is a spiritual practice. And I have to laugh because, each one of us ministers here and speakers, I think, Reverend Lena usually is talking about self-actualization in some form or another. I keep coming back to the whole joy thing. But I look on joy really as a spiritual practice. In fact, today at when we have the discussion group, there's going to be an opportunity to get gold stars and practice some joy.
We're grateful now to get started.
Yeah, right. right. So, but here, this is a wonderful quote that I think Candy gave me at one point. It's from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, who is a Jesuit priest. He's a mystic and a scientist who looked to bring together spirituality and evolution and the whole unfolding of the universe. And this is what he said, and I think it's such a brilliant quote. Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. And the kind of joy that I'm talking about is not the joy of, oh, I got a new car or I won the contest. It's the kind of deep, quiet joy that erupted inside me when I saw all the smiles on those people's faces, no matter how miserable I felt at 2 o'clock in the morning, but just seeing the smiles on other people's faces. It's the kind of joy that we experience when we see an absolutely beautiful sunset. All those sunset pictures on Facebook that get posted. It's kind of joy that you see when on social media again, reunions of people who've been in the military suddenly coming home and reuniting with their families, and just the surprise and the love and all of that kind of thing. The quiet joy of just having, even when you're sick, a kitty cat who comes and who follows you wherever you go, because I'd try sleeping on the couch, and then I'd try going back to bed, and then I'd try sitting up, and my little kitty would just follow right along. She'd even follow me into the bathroom, as kitties sometimes do. But, you know, it's that quiet joy that arises from deep inside of us. That is the presence of God. It's an indicator, it's a signpost, and it's not a reward, it's just something that arises. So that's the difference between winning a game and winning a contest and getting the new car or the new house or whatever the fancy thing is, and that inner sense of energy, that inner glow. And that's what we all need, especially when times are tough, especially nowadays with so much strife in the world and with things that are hard to handle sometimes. Just knowing that that joy is there and it is always available to us. And just as God is always available. God is always there, even at 2 o'clock in the morning. Finally, I think it's important to remind ourselves that we can roll out the red carpet for other people. Invite other people to be creative, appreciate creativity, appreciate joy, appreciate the sunsets with people, invite other people to be part of whatever it is that you're doing. Sometimes I think here I'm sitting here talking about joy and all this other stuff is going on, but you know, sometimes just by being an expression of joy, just by taking the risk, just by doing something playful, just by going and doing something fun, you never know that there's somebody else who's walking around all mired up with ego and dragging around guilt and all those negative feelings. You just don't know that you yourself might be the very thing that inspires them to spring out of that cloak of fear and darkness. And I think that's one of the reasons why each of us comes to these services on Sundays. It's for that inspiration so that we can go out. You know, it's not about the ministers, it's about each one of us. Each one of us has the opportunity to go out and be a spark of joy for other people. So it's more than just praying about people. It's about going out there and being an inspiration for other people. And the world needs it so much. When I was talking to my fellow, what are we? We're not centurions. What are people over the age of 80? Octogenarians. So I was talking to my fellow octogenarians out at Chesterfield Villas. One of the things we were talking about was that, you know, everybody sees the news, and when you see not only all the tragedies of war and violence and tornadoes, but you know, the lives of innocent little children being just swept away, it really makes us feel sort of helpless. You know, what can we do? Well, there is something we can do. And I think it's so important. And it has to do with this whole joy thing. It is to honor those who have not had the chance to live their lives in full by really accepting and embracing the gift of life, the precious gift that each one of us has. To be the joy, to express that joy, to be an expression of God. In that way, we are honoring the lives that people weren't able to live. In that way, we're honoring that there is a presence of God despite the darkness, despite ego, despite fear. And all we need to do is just walk that red carpet ourselves. Thank you.